Previously on Avatar.
What's up, my fellow Terrarians, and welcome to a new Terraria playthrough. Over, well, hopefully anyway. It's time to end the video. Well, that was a rather nice recap, right? Anyways, hello my fellow Terrarians. My name is Noah, and today I'm going to be completing my Yo-Yo class playthrough. I would like to thank, the people who saw part 1 of my video for the supports. I want to thank you for the supports that they have shown me. It makes me, incredibly happy and makes me want to, make more content like that. Now that I am in hard mode, let's see if things, get just as bad as pre-hard mode with the wall of flesh debacle, or maybe the game kind of finally cut me some slack. Who truly knows? Also, if you are new here to the video, you can check out part 1 of the video, or you can check out some of my other content to see what I've been up to. Anyways, let's get right on, and let's not waste any more time and get right on with hard mode. I started off the hard mode playthrough the way I usually always do it, by crafting an altar exterminator and using it to spawn in a parliament of wraiths. I kind of view them as, owls, that's why I call them a parliament. After finishing all the wraiths off, I felt that it was time to do a little bit of mining. I mined a bit of cobalt, and also I just want to say that I love the quality of life mods. They make Terraria infinitely easier than it usually is. If you want to mine a bunch of ore, well, just use the vein miner mod to mine a bunch of ore at once without having to waste like minutes just going through and mining the ore. Don't worry, I'm not going to be abusing this the quality of life mods as much as I possibly can. I then went back to base and crafted a pickaxe, which I then used to mine a ton of orichalcum ore. I then went back to base again and made a full orichalcum armor set. I then went to the underground tundra to obtain my very first hard mode yo-yo called the Amarok, or the Amarok. It doesn't matter how it's pronounced. I spent quite a bit of time, down here, and got a bunch of other stuff, that I'm not really in need of. I grinded until I finally got the Amarok. Now I can finally start, doing a lot better damage to enemies, and I'm probably going to be well prepared for my very first hard mode boss. I then went up to a sky island and killed a bunch of wyverns for their souls of flight. I also got a harpy feather. I then went underground and found the skeleton merchant and bought a yo-yo glove. I went to base and crafted harpy wings, a yo-yo bag, a power glove, charm of mitts, and Frostpark boots. Now that I am finished preparing for the bosses, it was time to fight my very first hard mode boss, called the Queen Slime, so enjoy. decided to, fight her. She doesn't really drop anything useful for me. I probably just wanted to flex. I crafted 2 mechanical boss summoners. I then made it into knights and began the twins fight. Okay, they were not quite as, terrifying as I thought they were going to be, which in the case of the twins is kind of a big deal. I reset the night cycle again and summoned the Destroyer. Let's hope that this boss isn't as, tedious as it usually is during these playthroughs. And as usual, I was wrong, and it was just as tedious and slow of a boss fight as always. I used the handle bars dropped by the bosses to craft the held armor sets. I then scurried over to the jungle and began killing the enemies in there. I am here for the Yelix yo-yo, which can drop from any jungle enemy after a mechanical boss has been killed. I was here, very briefly and got the yo-yo within minutes of coming here. Now it is time for Skeletron Prime. I made it into Knights again and summoned Skeletron Prime. Let's see if he's as, much of a joke as his pre-hardboard counterpart is. is just as much of a joke as his pre-order counterparts is. Now that all the mechanical bosses are, dead, it's time to prepare for the plant. I crafted a fire gauntlet and then went on a chlorophyte mining spree in the jungle in order to prepare for much later. I then went to the big open arena that opened up for Plantera. I started grinding for some turtle shells for later on in the playthrough. The strange thing, come to think of it, is that they call these turtle shells despite being dropped by tortoises. So was this just a purposeful misnaming of something, or was this a dev oversight that just stuck around because they didn't bother to change it? I got about 2 more shells plus one that I already have. I then crafted some moth wings. I then went back to my Plantera arena and summoned her. I know that she's a very easy boss, so this won't take too long. At least, okay, I might have underestimated her. Look at her damage. It's insane, and I'm dead. Great.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the?
Okay, let's have a do-over and forget about what just happened. Round 2, Plantera. See, that wasn't hard at all. Just don't get too cocky and things will be all good. Lesson learned. Well, until the next video, I guess. I then gremlin shuffled my way down the dungeon. I was here to grind for the Kraken yo-yo and other items. I grinded there for about an hour or so, but still no Kraken. So I decided to shut off the recording. And not even 3 minutes later, the Kraken yo-yo decided to drop. I had picked it up, but I dropped it just so you could see that I obtained it. I then went over to the jungle temple and broke in, and then I started looting the place. I got all the power cells from the chests. I then got to the chamber room in the temple, cleared out and started the Golem fight. The fight went, as easy as most Golem fights tend to do. Well, unless you are fighting, a certain type of Golem in a certain type of mod. So after killing the Golem, I decided to fight another one in order to, both flex and get more beetle husks. Once I got enough beetle husks, I then crafted the beetle armor set and the beetle wings. And then started a solar eclipse in order to obtain the Eye of Cthulhu yo-yo from a moth run. It did not take too long for one to spawn in, and yet almost immediately bodied by me. I got the yo-yo from the first moth run that spawned, which means no more extensive grinding sessions for me, which I am very thankful for. I then took to the seas and summoned in the High Duke of all mutated terrors, Fishron. yeah, this was an extremely stressful fight, especially towards the end. Also, the Flareon is probably one of my favorite weapons in the game. Might do a flail playthrough sometime. After the fight with Fishron, I felt that it was time to fight the Empress of Blight and get her accessory. Fight was rather easy, to be honest. Maybe I'm just getting better and used to her attacks. Now it was finally time to start the end game. I made my way over to the dungeon in order to fight the Deacons of the Deep semi-literate cousins. Now that the lunatic cultist is dead, the end game has begun.
We're in the end game now.
I started off by, killing the Nebula Pillar, which, spawned completely on me. And then I moved on to the Solar Pillar, which was, a rather hellish pillar to begin with. I then went to an even worse pillar called the Vortex Pillar. I died here like multiple times, like more than 10 times. And then last but, probably least, the Stardust Pillar. I completely deleted it from existence. Now it is time to wait for the Moonlord to spawn. I waited until the Moonlord spawned in before beginning the final boss fight of this playthrough. It did not take too long for it to become rather, apparent to me that this was going to be a rather long and difficult fight. I died on my first attempt because, of a slight mistake. I was almost there, I was very close, so this was definitely possible. Now it is time for the real fight to start, so enjoy. Well, it looks like the yo-yo playthrough has finally come to an end. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and wait a minute. You thought that this was the end of the playthrough? No, don't be silly now. I still have got things to do, like trying to get all the yo-yos in Terraria. I started off the yo-yo hunt first by crafting the Terrarian from the Moonlord treasure bag using a quality of life mod. I then bought the Format C from the Skeletron merchant. I then went down to Hell and got the Hellfire yo-yo. I then crafted the Cheek yo-yo. I then began the long hunt for the Dev yo-yos. And this is gonna be total hell, isn't it? I opened up like 50 treasure bags and got nothing from them. Then began to open up 50 more and saw something rather strange. Have you ever noticed that there are literally 2 different Senex vanity sets in the game? Well, if you didn't know that before, sure do now. I did not get the yo-yo here either. I'm going to demonstrate how I get all these treasure bags. I first buy a bunch of Destroyer summoners. I then make it night and spawn them in and try to kill them as fast as I possibly can. Then I profit. I opened up like 100 more treasure bags and still no sign of the yo-yo. When I was almost completely giving up, I got the Valkyrie yo-yo, which means 1 dev yo-yo down. I opened some more treasure bags in order to get the red Stro yo-yo, but it was getting too time consuming, so I gave up. I then bought the code 2 from the traveling merchant. It is kind of the last yo-yo of the playthrough that I need. Well, this is the outro. Thanks for watching. Make sure to give the video a like, comment, and maybe even a subscription if you like the content that I do here. And yeah, I have other things to currently plan, and I am currently planning to do some more, maybe some more interesting content in the future, so stay tuned and bye.